Small daily learning adds up to massive growth. Have you ever noticed how the smallest habits can change your entire life? Think about it. Reading just one page of a book every day doesn't feel like much, right? But in a year, that's 365 pages. That's an entire book. Now imagine if you kept that up for 5 years. You'd be a completely different person, filled with knowledge, new skills, and a sharper mind. The truth is, growth doesn't happen overnight. It's not about cramming everything into one big effort. Real growth comes from consistency, those little steps you take daily. Just like a plant doesn't grow tall in a single day, your mind and your life need steady care, little by little, to truly transform. Think about people you admire, leaders, athletes, creators. None of them got there by accident. They built their strength by showing up every single day, learning something new, even if it was just a small lesson. So don't underestimate the power of 5 minutes of learning, a short podcast, a few lines from a book, or practicing one tiny skill. Over time, these small efforts stack up into something massive. Keep feeding your mind, keep showing up, because one day you'll look back and realize those tiny steps built the life you always dreamed of. Knowledge builds confidence and courage. Have you ever noticed how fear starts to fade the moment you understand something? Think back to school. Remember how scary a math problem looked until the teacher explained it step by step? Suddenly, it wasn't so terrifying anymore. That's the power of knowledge. It takes away the mystery, the doubt, and the fear. Confidence doesn't magically appear out of nowhere. It's built through preparation and understanding. When you know what you're talking about, when you've practiced a skill, when you've studied and prepared, you walk into any room standing taller. You speak with more courage because you've equipped yourself with the tools to succeed. Think of a driver learning to handle a car. At first, every turn feels stressful, but with knowledge and practice, driving becomes second nature. The same is true in life. When you learn, when you grow, your courage expands. Knowledge is like armor. It protects you from fear and doubt. It gives you the courage to take risks, to step into the unknown, and to believe in yourself even when things feel uncertain. So don't ever stop learning. Every book, every lesson, every skill you pick up is another layer of confidence being added to your character. Keep filling your mind, because the more you know, the braver you become. Self-education opens doors that school never shows you. School gives us a foundation, but let us be honest. It doesn't teach us everything we need to thrive in the real world. Think about it. In school, you might learn equations, memorize history dates, or write essays. Useful? Sure. But does it show you how to manage money, build confidence, start a business, or develop emotional strength? Not really. That's where self-education steps in. The moment you take control of your own learning, you unlock doors no classroom ever mentioned. Reading books about mindset, listening to podcasts from successful people, learning a new skill on your own. That's the kind of education that shapes your future. It's the knowledge that gives you freedom. Look at some of the world's most successful people. Many of them credit self-education as their secret weapon. They didn't stop learning when school ended. They kept feeding their minds, chasing curiosity, and teaching themselves what truly mattered for their dreams. When you choose to educate yourself, you stop waiting for someone else to hand you permission. You create your own opportunities. You start seeing solutions instead of limitations. So never let school be the finish line for your learning. Let it be the starting point. Keep teaching yourself. Keep seeking wisdom, because the doors self-education opens can lead you to places you never even imagined. Reading just 10 minutes a day can change your future. 10 minutes might not sound like much, right? We waste more time scrolling through our phones or watching random clips online. But here's the truth. If you spend just 10 minutes a day reading, it can completely change the direction of your life. Think about it. 10 minutes a day equals over 60 hours of reading in a year. That's several books packed with wisdom, strategies, and stories that could shift how you think and how you live. You don't need to spend hours buried in a library. All it takes is a small, consistent habit. Imagine starting your morning with 10 minutes of a powerful book on growth, success, or mindset. Those words stick with you through the day. They shape the choices you make, the risks you take, and the way you see yourself. Over time, those small lessons pile up, and suddenly you're ahead of the person you used to be. Some of the greatest leaders and thinkers built their lives on reading. They weren't always born with the answers. They found them in books, page by page, idea by idea. So if you want to change your future, start simple. Pick up a book, set aside 10 minutes. Let those pages feed your mind. Because 10 minutes today could be the seed of a lifetime of success. The more you learn, the more opportunities you attract. Have you ever noticed how doors start opening when you know more? It's almost like the world begins to pay attention. The truth is, opportunities don't just fall into your lap. You attract them by what you know and what you can do. Think about it. If you learn a new skill, suddenly you qualify for jobs or projects you never could have touched before. If you understand people better, you build stronger relationships that lead to new chances. Even something as simple as learning how to speak well can put you in rooms you never thought you'd enter. Knowledge is like a magnet. The more you add to yourself, the more people, ideas, and opportunities are drawn your way. Employers notice it. Friends notice it, life notices it, and it is not about being the smartest person in the room. It is about being willing to keep growing, to keep adding value to yourself. Look around at successful people. Most of them didn't get lucky. They prepared. They learned. They built themselves so well that when opportunity knocked, they were ready to answer. So never stop learning. Keep feeding your mind. Every new skill, every lesson, every bit of wisdom makes you more attractive to the opportunities that can change your life. Stay hungry, keep learning, because the more you grow, the more the world will open its doors to you. Growth never stops when you stay curious. Do you remember how curious you were as a kid? You asked why 100 times a day. You explored, you experimented, you learned without even trying. That curiosity was what made you grow so fast. Somewhere along the way, many of us lose that spark. We get comfortable, we stop asking questions, and when curiosity fades, growth slows down. But here's the secret. If you keep that childlike curiosity alive, your growth never has to stop. Every question you ask, every new idea you explore, every skill you test keeps you moving forward. Curiosity is the fuel that makes life exciting. Think about people who seem alive, no matter their age. They're always learning something new, traveling, trying hobbies, asking questions. Their energy comes from curiosity. They don't settle for what they know. They stay hungry for what they don't. When you stay curious, you discover paths others don't see. You find solutions that others overlook. You open doors that routine living keeps shut. Curiosity makes you grow not just in knowledge, but in creativity, resilience, and wisdom. So don't ever stop asking why. Don't ever stop exploring. Stay curious about life, people, and yourself. Because as long as curiosity burns inside you, growth will never end. Learning new skills makes you unshakable in tough times. Life will test you. Tough times always come. Job loss, financial struggles, unexpected setbacks. And in those moments, many people feel powerless. But here's the truth. When you keep learning new skills, you become unshakable. You stop depending only on one path because you've built more than one way to stand strong. Think about it. If you only know one skill and that door closes, you're stuck. But if you've taught yourself more, like communication, leadership, technology, creativity, you always have options. You can adapt, you can pivot, you can survive what others see as impossible. It's like building a toolbox. When life breaks something, the more tools you have, the easier it is to fix. That is why people who never stop learning don't just endure hard times. They rise above them. They don't fear change because they're prepared for it. Look at history. Many great leaders and innovators thrived during crises because they had the skills to adjust. They weren't frozen by fear. They had the confidence to reinvent themselves, and that's what made them unstoppable. So keep adding to your skill set, keep sharpening your mind, because when storms hit, you won't be shaken, you'll be ready. Remember, knowledge is power, but skills turn that power into survival and success. Education is not about grades, it's about self-mastery. We've been trained to believe that education is about numbers and letters on a report card. An A means you're smart, a C means you're average. But here's the truth, grades don't define you. Real education is not about marks on a piece of paper. It's about what you actually take away, how you use it, and how it shapes the person you become. Think about it. How many people graduated top of their class but still struggle in real life? And how many so-called average students went on to build businesses, create opportunities, or lead with vision? The difference isn't the grade, it's the mastery. It's the willingness to keep learning, to apply knowledge, and to grow beyond the classroom. Education is really about self-mastery. It's about learning discipline, patience, problem-solving, and resilience. It's about discovering your strengths, facing your weaknesses, and working on both until you become stronger. The lessons you teach yourself, like persistence, curiosity, and confidence, will take you further than any exam score ever could. So stop measuring your worth by grades. Focus instead on mastering yourself. Focus on growth, on learning skills that empower you, and on building a mindset that no test can measure. Because in the end, true education is not about impressing others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Investing in your mind pays the highest return. People often talk about investing money, stocks, businesses, property. And yes, those things can bring profit, but the greatest investment you'll ever make isn't in the bank or the market. It's in your mind. Because when you grow your mind, you grow your life in every direction. Think about it. You could lose money, lose a job, even lose possessions. But if you've built your mind through knowledge, skills, and wisdom, you can rebuild everything again. That's why the richest people aren't always the ones with the most cash. They're the ones with the mindset and knowledge to create opportunity, no matter where they start. Even the smallest investment counts. Reading a book, learning a new skill, taking a course, or simply spending time around people who challenge you. These things sharpen your thinking and expand your vision. Over time, that growth pays back more than money ever could. It pays in confidence, in freedom, in opportunities that you never imagined would come your way. The truth is, your mind is your greatest asset. The stronger it gets, the more valuable you become. And unlike material things, nobody can take it away from you. So make the smartest investment starting today. Feed your mind daily, because when you invest in yourself, the returns are endless and they last for a lifetime. Daily self-education transforms ordinary people into leaders. Leaders aren't born with a special gift. They're shaped by habits. And one of the most powerful habits is daily self-education. Every single day, ordinary people become extraordinary because they choose to grow their minds. Think about it. Leaders are not just people with authority. They're people with vision, wisdom, and the ability to guide others. Where do those qualities come from? From learning, from reading, from listening, from asking questions and seeking answers day after day. Imagine someone who spends even 20 minutes a day feeding their mind, reading books, studying successful people, or learning new skills. At first, the change seems small, but over months and years, that person begins to think differently, speak differently, and act differently. People notice, they trust them, they look up to them. And just like that, someone who once felt ordinary becomes a leader others follow. History is full of these stories, men and women who weren't the smartest, richest, or most talented at the start. What set them apart was the choice to keep learning when others stopped. That steady growth turned them into leaders who shaped the world. So don't wait for leadership to be handed to you. Build it yourself. Educate yourself daily. Because with every lesson, every page, every skill, you're not just growing, you're becoming the kind of leader the world needs.